Good
Oh
morning.
my gosh. Good morning.
Good
Good morning. Good
morning.
morning. I am so excited for today. You guys, we have had an amazing weekend and it was filled with so many of those moments where you sit down and think about what are you doing? What are we up to? As a lot of you guys know, I have been in quite a journey, me and my family. As I think about this season of my life as an entrepreneur and the amazing entrepreneurs who are coming to me every single day talking to me about their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations. I've really thought about the message that I want to leave behind, the message and the legacy that tells you that you've got this, that tells you that you can make it no matter what. And so today, as I think about the speaker that we have for you today, Darlene Mitchell, she is a merchandising expert with over 25 years experience in leadership, executive management. She has been in so many different spaces. And the one thing I'm thinking about is how important this message of legacy is for all of us. Because when you know who you are, you know what to say, you know who to say it to, and you know how to do that again and again and again. So I am very excited to introduce one of my good friends. I've been able to interview her many times at Magic and, of course, follow her journey and the amazing lengths that she has gone to help other people succeed. So it is with such excitement and a huge honor that I introduce to you Darlene Mitchell. Hi, Darlene. Thank you so much for being
Hello.
here.
How are you? How is everyone today? I am
Awesome.
good. I am so excited to be here. Rachel's one of my favorite people to talk with. Um, and today, I just want to talk about legacy. It is one of the things that just moves us, right? And I I grew my business one way. I was working with clients and just a lot of retail clients. And then I found out some of my favorite people were the people who were trying to leave legacy. They were really wanted to have an impact in this world. So I kind of switched my business to help people build legacy. So I really help people grow and scale their business, their profitable retail business through inventory strategies to grow those legacies. And so this session is about coming from being ambitious to building yourself and your business as a legacy. And so I think a good way to start this is by the definition, especially when from the perspective of achievement. So ambition is really to have a strong desire to be successful, and powerful and rich. And it takes a great effort when you say ambitious. Legacy means to leave something behind. It's to have an impact on your surroundings and your field of expertise. They feel different, right? One feels a little heavier than the other. Even though legacy is heavy, it doesn't feel as heavy as when you say, I'm ambitious, right? And I believe that you can have both things. You can be ambitious and leave a legacy, because I believe leaving a legacy causes you to be ambitious because you want to leave that impact on others. So it causes you to be ambitious. It causes the same result as if you say, I was ambitious. But I think when you think about legacy, it becomes other centered. And so in my business is very other centered. It's about growing other people's businesses while I grow my business. But I leave from others, serving others. And that feels a little different to me. And that's legacy. So, like I said before, when I started my business, I really wanted to work with retailers, all retailers. And then I started to realize there were some that really were going for just the money grab. They were in business, and we all are, right? From a financial standpoint, but they only talked about the money. I want to make six figures. I want to make 7, 8 figures, which is great. But when you only lead from that, you forget about the impact that you're having on others, the legacy that you leave on others. And when you think about legacy, like you think about these big things, but legacy is your everyday. Like, how do you live? I love the fact that I live a legacy. I don't have to wait until I'm gone that people start talking about me and my legacy. I want to live it now. I want to impact people now. So as we talk, as the title says, we're going to talk about yourself and your business. And so when I started thinking about legacy for myself, it changed not only my business, but it changed me when I was in corporate retail as well in my career, because I started thinking differently. I started thinking about what impact am I having when I make this decision? What am I leaving behind when I leave this room? Now, there were seasons in my life that I didn't have great legacy. I wasn't leaving great things when I left a room. But when I look back, I knew how to change it because I knew what it was doing to me, not leaving a legacy. I was in an environment once that I could not, there was no one was receptive to the legacy leaving, right? Leaving legacy. They were all about just money, 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 money. And so in that environment, I could not breathe. I could not live my true authentic self. So your body even knows when you're not leaving a legacy. So when I think about leaving a legacy, a personal legacy, a positive legacy, there are three things that are my favorite things. And the first one is to define your core values. And that's really, what do you want to leave behind? How do you want to live your life every day? Right? So for me, mine is really thinking about every day, the end of day, when I sit down and I really reflect on my day, it's not about how much money did I make in that day, how many leads did I get. I think about, did I have an authentic connection with someone that day? That is very important to me. If I can go out to dinner with every single person I meet, I would, because I like that authentic connection. And the other thing is, did I offer any guidance? Did I inspire anyone? Did I motivate anyone? And you have to think, on my side, being a strategist, that is what I'm doing most of my day. I am offering my knowledge. I'm pouring in my knowledge of retail to my clients. I am giving them guidance in their business, right? And hopefully I'm inspiring them, I'm motivating them. And at the end of the day, I want them to have joy. If I give them joy, that is my ultimate core value. And so that means for my friends, for my family, and even strangers. For my friends, my friends really have a hard time when we go out to dinner because they're like, you're always going to end up talking about business or talking about like what is driving me that day. Like, I don't want to talk about me that day. I want to, talk about something else, but I want to really pull out from them who they want to be, who are their authentic person, what is their legacy they're leaving. And so, like I said before, there are times when I don't hit it. I don't hit it out the ballpark. I'm not leaving a good legacy, but I know just within everything in me, that day I did not leave a legacy. And so I just go back and say, okay, what can I do differently? So when you think about your core values, what are some of your core values? Do you have that authentic connection? Are you a communicator? Are you a great listener? Like, there are different things about you that are just true to only you, and only you can deliver them out. And that leaves legacy, that leaves an impact on someone. And so second, I think about my short-term and long-term goals. In my goals, how I have a roadmap that is leading to the impact I want to have over time. How do I want to end my life? How as a business owner do I want people to remember me? How do as a leader in a corporate retail, did I want people to remember me? Do I want people to remember me as the ambitious hustler, always talking about money, 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 and the plans, plans, plans? Or do I want people to remember me as an intentional businesswoman that lifts other people along my journey? That's what I think about my legacy. Am I intentional about how I am doing business, how I am leading people, how I am meeting people? And I think that, if you ask anyone about me, the first thing they would say is, I'm an Uber auntie. I am the aunt to everyone. And then I am a great mentor. If you leave me, more than likely you've learned something if we've had a conversation, because I want you to leave with some wisdom. I want to pour something into you that I have. And so what I love is seeing people develop into their full potential. I love taking that diamond in the rough and really making it come to fruition of what the dream of that business owner or my nephew or my niece. And so if I tie those two things together, my core values and my short and long-term goals, what I end up having truly to get those two things, or to manifest those two things, is building meaningful relationships. Because in order to have relationships, you have to be authentic to who you are and think about your legacy, what you want to leave people with, and how you want to lead those people. So when I leave someone, I always think about the impact. What impact did I have on a person? Whether good or bad, right? I want to leave a positive, but sometimes it turns into a negative. So how do I course correct that? What do I do differently? And a value can be a value of not only generosity, but also forgiveness. Forgive yourself and also offer apology to someone if you have offended them in any way as part of your legacy. Come back to someone. So those two things just come together to build a relationships that change lives, that leaves impact. So I have this story. It's about a young man that I worked with when I was in corporate retail. And I think I was a director or senior director, I don't know. But I had a team, and that team was interviewing for positions. And normally I look at the resumes, but I don't interview anyone because it's their team. I don't interview anyone unless they want to go to a yes, they want to go to a hire. Then I'll go down, do my quick little conversation with them. So I was looking at these resumes, and I saw this one that kind of stood out for me because I didn't understand why this person was interviewing. They were straight out of college, they had no experience, but something about them told them that they had what it takes to do this job. So I was very interested in this person. They actually said, my team actually passed on this person. They didn't want to hire him. And I thought, well, I still want to talk to him. So I went down and I talked to him. And one of the things they said about him, they're like, he's very cocky. Well, yeah, he was a little, very sure of himself. Um, but there was just something, there was a potential in this kid that I just saw. And I actually said, we're going to hire. And they were too happy about it because he's not on my team, he's on their team. So he comes in and eventually he does ruffle some feathers for sure. And he eventually comes on my team. So he gets promoted along the way and he comes on my team. And he was just this dynamo, this dynamic force. And it was just amazing to work with him because he was this raw thing that I knew I could mold. And I could help him with my retail knowledge, with the knowledge that I have of retail strategies, with my soft skills that he just didn't have yet. But the passion to do was just there. And I can not teach passion. I can teach everything else, but I couldn't teach passion. And he and I went on to develop some processes and tools for our team to make our team more efficient. So this guy that was very cocky and just, like a bull in a china shop became like this guy who everyone looked up to, that everyone looked to for solutions. And that was just amazing for me to watch his transformation. We went on to work at another company together. We weren't in the same department, but I still mentored him along the way over years, even when I left the company. And years later, we kept in contact. He got married, he had a baby, all these things. And we kept in contact, not, frequently, but one day he called me. This is 15 years after we worked together. He called me and said he was interviewing for a position, and I may cry. He was interviewing for a position that was a training to be a CFO in his company. And he wanted me to be one of his references. And I'm like, well, we haven't worked together in 15 years. But he said, you know me better than any other leader I've ever worked with. You pulled something out of me that I didn't know I had. And I just remember after having a conversation and then later talking to the CFO, who was also very interested in why he chose me. And he just, you know me. And that's when I say that authentic, being authentic, being meaningful in your relationships makes a change. So I changed something about this young man. And to watch him go from a college kid, straight out of college, to now training, I think he is now a CFO, but now he's a CFO in a company. And it was because of that time that I took to spend with him, to pour knowledge into him, to see the potential in him. That gave some type of lasting impact to him in his life. And that's legacy, right? That is legacy. And I have many stories like that. They call themselves mini me's, which I love that. But it's just that impact we have on their careers, on their lives, right? Who doesn't want that? Am I not ambitious because I leave a legacy? Because I lead with others centered? Absolutely, I'm still ambitious, but I lead differently, right? So how do you lead? If you think about leading with legacy, leading with impact, how does that change what you do in your day-to-day? How does that change who you are as an entrepreneur, as a business person? How does that change as someone even in corporate? Because remember, I started this out in corporate, started living a legacy life in my corporate experience. So there are just many ways to do this, whether it could be, you're the sustainable person, you're the great listener, you are, just a great communicator. Like I said, as a Uber auntie and as a mentor, I had to have amazing listening skills, right? That's part of just who I am, because I want to listen to what other people want to do in their life, and hopefully I can bring something to that, right? So as we think about ourselves and what we want to bring to ourselves and living a legacy, now, how do you bring that to your business? Or how do because you start the same way. It looks very similar in that you're going to start with core values. In a case of a business, you're going to start with your mission statement and your values. And your mission statement and your values are really how you show up, is how you make decisions in your business. With me being other-centered, I make decisions in my business about how I can serve someone the best I can with excellence. That's how I lead. And then the offers come along. So if I know, for example, I know my clients want to leave a legacy. And if you've ever seen me speak before, I talk about my clients being in buckets of the babe who's just starting out in business, the boss who's been in business for a while, and then the beast. And the beast is who I lean more towards now. The beast is someone who wants to leave a legacy in their business, or they want to exit their business. They want to sell their business, but they're at the point where they are, I guess we say scaling. They're in a scaling mode. And when you're in that mode, you're thinking about, how do I make this business not only attractive for myself, but attractive for my customers, attractive for future buyers of my business, or attractive for the person that I want to leave the business to. Say you want to leave, I had a lot of customers who want to leave the business to their children or nieces and nephews. So how do you build this legacy so that you can leave it to someone, right? And legacy is not just, and again, it's not just that the tangible, the financial part of it, but it's the intangibles, the environment that you have. So when you think about your mission and your values, that's the baseline of which you're growing this. You're growing your legacy on from your mission statement and your values. How my business shows up to people, whether it's my customers or my employees, right? Excuse me. If you are just thinking from a business standpoint, you're mostly thinking from a financial standpoint, right? Or initiative standpoint. Well, those are great because that's sales planning and that's what I do. So I love from a sales planning, but there's more to it, right? You guys get that. There's more to just your business than the financial part of it. There is your mission, your values, excuse me. And another way I believe you can drive legacy in your business is your customer satisfaction, your customer, how do you show your customer that you genuinely care about them, that you generally have a product for them, you generally have a service that is for them. So like I said, I look at my business from being other-centered. Now, what are my offers? I'm in a service business. So how are my services built towards thinking of others first, not of myself, not of how much can I charge for this thing, but just how do I serve that person? How can I serve my ideal client? And then I attach a fee to that. One of the things when I think about one of my clients and how she wanted to bring customer service to excellent customer service to her client and be different than the norm is when she started her business. She's been in business, I think 6 years now. We've been working together for almost 5 of those years. And when she started her business, she has an online clothing business. And when she started a business, she noticed that when she went to market to buy products, that she found she couldn't find everything for all girls. So she wanted to serve girls from extra small, sorry, to 3X. And she couldn't find anything that did the full range. She could find some things, but she would have to offer a red dress for her regular size girls that looked like this, and a red dress for her plus size that looked like this. Where her plus size girl said, wait a minute, I want the same dress. Why are you giving me this? I don't want that. So she took that, think about her customer service, the excellence customer service, listening to the feedback of her customers, and said, okay, then I'm going to design my own clothes. And so now she designs her own product, right? And it really came from her listening to her customers, listening to the feedback they had, and she tweaked her business. And it's very successful. We doubled every year the business, and it's doing very well. But it came from her leaving that legacy of customer service, customer excellence first, right? And so number 3 for me, a third way, there's actually a tie. And the tie, of course, for me coming from a mentor standpoint, the tie for third way to drive legacy in your business to me is your team, your employees. How do you bring them along? How do you instill the legacy, the values that you want in your business into your employees? How do you develop them? How do you show them that they are part of this business as well? They're part of your journey. When you bring people along for the journey, they stay with you much longer. When you bring them a part of the journey, they will absolutely help you along the way because they are part of it, right? So how do you leave that legacy of development with your customers? I have the same client that we talked about before. She is growing, her business has grown tremendously. And now she's at a point where she wants to pull back from the business and the day-to-day business. She doesn't want to be the barrier, the blockage for anything in the business, because people are waiting for her. So now we are developing her business or structuring her business so that she can pull out of her business at any given time and the business will run smoothly without her because she wants to start a family or she wants to add to her family. So that's what we are doing. We're looking at her business. Every person in her business, we're pulling some people along, bringing them along because they're going to be, leaders in the business when she's not there. So imagine a legacy she's leaving for her employees. They have been with her for 5 years, and now they've been promoted and promoted, and they're part of the business. And she's telling them, there's going to be a day when I'm not going to be sitting in this chair, and you'll be running it. So her legacy of her business, which actually has her own name, the legacy of her business is now being moved to someone else. And that's the tie. So developing your team, tied with that to me is succession planning. Whenever, so legacy, succession planning, and legacy planning, right? In any business, I worked for Gap Inc. I worked for both Gap and Old Navy within that Gap Inc. structure. And I think about Don and Doris Fisher all the time, who I was very fortunate that they used to walk the building when I worked there. And so we got to see them, and they were legacies to all of us. But they left a legacy in their business such that they were not in the business. They walked around because it was their business, but they were not in the day in, day out anymore. But they left a culture and environment in which it was just infectious, really. How they thought about people, the way they moved slowly through the office. We were all running around like crazy people, but they moved slowly. So we knew that we could move slow, that we could think of things differently. But they left a legacy. They left an environment, a culture in that business. Whether you were a Gap customer, or Old Navy customer, somehow this company affected you in your life, right? Somehow you know about Gap, you know about Old Navy. And remember, they started this company. It was called, I think it was called Denim Plus. I think that's the name of it. But they started it just to have long length denim because he was a tall guy. That's how they started a business in a store in San Francisco. And it grew to be this international phenomenon, right? And it grew not because they made a lot of money. It grew because they left legacy. They showed us how to run a business. And it is by far, I've worked for many, many companies. It is by far my favorite company because of what it instilled in me. And that's when I learned to live a legacy. That's when I started thinking about how am I leaving a room? What impact am I having on people? And that was learned from Don and Doris Fisher and Gap. That's where I learned that. So how do you leave your legacy in your business? What is the thing that is important for you, your values, your mission statement of your business? And whatever your mission statement is, your values are, that is how you should lead. Lead from that. And everything else will come with it. The things that you're looking from, saying I'm an ambitious person, what you're looking for, the outcome you're looking for will happen when you lead with legacy first. So I would love to hear the thoughts that you guys have around leaving legacy and how crucial it is for those around you. Not just for yourself, not just to say, I want this said about me, but how did I leave a room? How did I leave a person? That's how I want to grow my business. So I thank you guys for listening to this and how I lead legacy in my business. And that's it. I am not sure what's next. You're welcome. Oh, awesome. We can do some hot seats. Okay, let's go for that. Let's do some questions. Anyone have any questions? Mm.
Hey, Darlene.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi. I just wanted to tell you that, this is something at my age and launching my own business in the past year, thinking about legacy is an important thing, because it's more than just what they say in your celebration of life at the end of your life. But I think the trophies are like you described with that young man, that your impact on his life was such that when he assessed all of the people that could really give a great description or an understanding of his values and his his core values, he thought of you, and that was just encouraging to me. I work as a relationship coach and helping people create joy in their joy-filled relationships based on healthy boundaries. And there's a lot of times we're not, our legs are not, our knees are not right out from under us. But if one person believes in us and impacts us and influences us, sometimes that's the deciding factor for how we come back to the day and say, this is a setback, but the comeback is going to be greater. So
That's right.
I just wanted to tell you that was a blessing to me to hear. If each one of us reach one person, we never know how many people that person will reach. So
That's right.
thank you. And
That's
I'm
it.
Rachel's mom, by the
Oh,
way.
Rachel's
She's
mom.
my baby girl.
What a legacy you leaving.
I know, right? What is it? Those who can do and those who can't are their moms.
Yeah.
Actually, she's my coach too, but
Oh,
yeah, she's
I
been
love
on great.
that.
Yeah.
I have a client that I've been with her 5 years since I started my business. And
Mhm.
every year she's like, you know what? I don't think I need you anymore, darling. I think I'm good. 5 years. For 5 years, she said that. And she's like, darling, because I just don't. I really need your knowledge. And I love working with you because we had joy-filled conversations. Even though we're talking about financial things, there's
Mhm.
joy in that, right? There's this. I love the one-on-one. Again, if I could take everyone out to dinner when I meet them, I would take everyone out to dinner because that authentic connection. When I do my it's not my Myers-Briggs, it's my the skill assessment. I can't think of the name of it right
Disc?
now.
Is it disc?
It's not the disc. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it.
There's a
But
number of them.
yeah, there's a number of them. But it always talks about connection.
Yeah.
Always, every single time. And when I became executive, when I would do the test again, they would say, it doesn't make sense because you're still trying to have connection with people. I'm like, well, yes, I am. Just because I'm at this level doesn't mean I don't want to connect with my team. That's
Right.
important. That's the importance. Um,
That's
trying to look
true.
at what is out here in the comments. There's so much. Um, Yeah, Katie, I agree. Leaving a legacy means something. Katie said, leaving legacy for me means leaving behind something for my daughter financially, um, but also leaving behind something more when she sees the impact I left on this world, that I helped others, that I loved with all my heart, that I inspired the people around me. Both of those are the most important to me in legacy. Totally agree. Completely agree. I have a nephew. I'm very close to my nephew. When I say Uber auntie, I'm extremely close to my nephew, who's 21. Oh, will be 21 in July. And then I have two goddaughters. They're 2.5 and 1.5. And that is the legacy of owning a business, being an entrepreneur. It's very important for me to leave back behind for them. And my nephew actually works for me. And I have to give him correction. It's really hard as an auntie to give him correction. But sometimes I have to show him what does it mean to run a business. And that's a legacy I hope to leave with him, whether he stays with my business or he goes on elsewhere. I want him to have those job skills, those skills of running a business. And for my goddaughters, it's to show them that females can run businesses, right? That we can do anything we want to do. Oh, Katie chills. Yeah, the Daniel story Daniel's story, his name is Daniel. It gives me chills every time I think about it. That you leave that kind of legacy. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Awesome. Katie and her best friend's birthday today.
Actually, that was for my birthday, and I wanted to, as you were speaking about legacy, about how people speak about you when you leave the room. My best friend sent that to me. My birthday was February 10th, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, happy
but
birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. So my best friend sent that text message to me on my actual birthday morning. I've known her since I was 21. I had started my first business. I was a online modeling magazine out here in Colorado. And my mom actually mistook her for the model because we were at like this nightclub, and it's like this crazy story, but my mom thought she was the model Vanessa Beasley. My mom went up to grab her and she's like, you have to meet my daughter. She owns a magazine, and the rest is like history. She's like one of my closest and most dearest friends. She's
I love that.
honestly the most amazing person. I've known her since that time frame, and she's like an aunt to my daughter. And so she sent me that message, and as you were saying, what do people say about you when you leave the room? I thought that sharing her text message with you guys kind of like spoke to like the legacy that I'm hopefully leaving for everybody that knows me. So what she wrote, I was like, oh, I'm gonna let them read it because
I
it
love
brought me
that.
to tears. It brought me to tears when she sent it. And my mom actually passed away in 2013. So Rachel, I tell her all the time, I feel like my mom 100%, I'm gonna try not to cry because her birthday is actually her birthday's the day after tomorrow. And I know that Rachel's coming up on something that she's going through in her life. And I told Rachel, I said, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that my mom 100% is going to be there for you as your angel because she's been there for me. And I know that my mom brought me to this group of people for a reason. Like, and Rachel put it in a course on her Launchpreneur app. She made this comment where she said, we're going to be on a yacht toasting to our, successes. And she doesn't drink, but, she will have a mocktail, I'm sure. And when she said it, it gave me chills because in 2009, I made that exact promise to my mom. So I just wanted, to like basically share that with you guys, but I also wanted to just like step in for a second just to let Rachel know that like as I was listening to you, Darlene, Rachel, you are that leader. Like you are. You are the most amazing leader, and I just love you so much. And I am so grateful that my mom has brought me to you guys. So that was what I wanted to share. But yeah, like the text message is actually about me from my best friend, and I hope that I leave that legacy with you guys here. Like if I can do anything to help other people in this call and team as well, I'm always for that. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. And I love all of you guys.
And listen to all that legacy you from your mom to you, to your best friend, to your daughter, all that legacy that's happening. And all that cumulative just leads to just something great in this world, right? And how do we impact others is so important. You've been impacted through so many people. And you will leave that to your daughter. And you'll leave that in your world, right? And I believe that, yes, God conspires to pull everyone together that needs to come together. He does, for sure. I love that. Yes. So that is it. If no one has any questions or questions for me or anything else about legacy and leaving impact?
Darlene, I just want to jump in and say thank you so much for today. You are just such an
Mhm.
inspiration and such a blessing. And I just so appreciate you sharing your wisdom with all of us today because you are just such an eloquent speaker. And, I'm just your biggest fan. So I'm excited to continue to follow in your legacy. And thank you for sharing this
Thank
wisdom with our
you.
community today. It's such an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for it's an honor to be part of your community to just come in here and impart anything. And anytime, I would love to come back anytime, you know that. But thank you, Rachel. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
And you have to come back for sure. I'm
I
sure
will.
everyone's like, yes, we're ready for part 2 already. Thank you. And thank you all for your words. Katie, thank you. You got me tearing up over here. You're so
I
beautiful.
know.
Thank you for sharing your heart.
Of course, I love you, and I told you in our DM, but I just think it's not a coincidence that my mom's birthday is this week, that you led our Monday call with Darlene and this amazing talk about legacy. And wanted to share that on my heart because I was like, well, I hope Rachel knows. She's 100 that leader and everything. I thank God and my mom and my guardian angels every single day, like just being able to be imparted with your wisdom. You are such a beautiful soul. And I think that your mother is the most beautiful person as well. And I know she's got to be of the person.
Oh.
You're amazing.
And then
That's
I'm
so-
thinking of you, and especially for tomorrow, I'm thinking of you. And if you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. And
Thank
Darlene,
you so much. That means the world.
of course. And Darlene, thank you. Like I didn't get to tell you that it was beautiful. Like I was in tears pretty much the entire call, and I was just like, this is amazing call. And I'm like, it just keeps, it's like the God wings, like when you someone who passes away, you have God wings. Even if
Yeah.
something in your life that's kind of a tough time, you get these little God wings, as I call them. And Rachel, I heard her say it before too. And this call is definitely that. Like it just shows me that I'm
Awesome.
with what my mom and I talked about all those years ago. So anyways, I'm gonna let you guys continue with someone else to say, but I just, of course, Rachel, you know how much I love you, and I had to share my heart with you and with everybody on this call today because I really truly am so grateful every single day that I get to be a part of this amazing team. And it's more than just business and TikTok shop and content creating, and it's more than that for me.
It
It's like
is.
it's a family, and I love you guys.
It is. Awesome.
Oh, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Had to jump on here for a second and just say how much you mean to me. So grateful. Darlene, thank you again. And we'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.